UFC 304, got to get your reaction. Belal Muhammad, the new champion. Did you get a chance to see any of the fight? And if you did, what was your reaction?
Who won the fight? I can tell you who lost, and that's the fans, man. I feel bad for the fans that they got robbed of some entertainment and, you know, the highest level fight of two bums. So I feel bad for the fans, but Belal, the racist juice monkey, won. Now that he finally made his first check off the prelims, he can finally fix that dildo that's on his face, or maybe get his teeth fixed. Those things are nasty and rotten, but that's only if Ali doesn't take all his money, because we know his scumbag manager is, you know, he's a thief. He's probably stealing most of his money. Just like when he double dipped when he had two of his fighters fight. He had Gilbert Burns turn around on a short turnaround off a fight to fight Belal, the racist juice monkey. So, you know, the people that lost, you know, are the fans, and I feel bad for them.
Let me ask you this. Were you surprised yourself when you saw that Belal beat Leon?
Not really, just because, you know, I know that Leon made so much money in the last fight with me that, you know, I don't think he's hungry anymore. I think he's lost his motivation, and, you know, he has nothing more to fight for. What is he fighting for? You know, he's already achieved, you know, everything that he set out to do. He's reached the top of the mountain. So, you know, he's not a type of guy that's going to get knocked down and get back up and fight harder. You know, he's a quitter. You know, he's shown it in the past, and you know, he's just, you know, you could tell he just doesn't have that hunger anymore. I don't know what happened in the fight or how the fight went or who looked which way, but I can just tell you I knew that Leon wasn't going to be motivated, and, you know, I think that's the last we saw of Leon. Now Leon can go back to the prelims where he belongs. The guy's a fucking pussy. The only time that Belal, the racist juice monkey, wanted to fight me was when I already had a title fight signed, sealed, and delivered. That's the only time he wanted to fight me. Otherwise, he's never said my name because he knows he's a little bitch and he knows what I would do to him. He's a pussy. If I cross paths with him, he won't be champion anymore. He won't be a man anymore. I will take his man card. And we know he's still a virgin, so it's not like anybody's going to fuck him because he's just disgusting. I mean, look at his teeth. Look at that dildo on his face. He's just a disgusting excuse of a human. So, you know, I'd love to fight him. I hope that fight happens. You know, I'll do whatever it takes to get to that. You know, I'm going to talk to the UFC, see what I need to do to get to that fight. But, you know, I can tell you that he knows that I'm in his crosshairs now. And, you know, he's only tried to call me out when he knew I had a title fight signed. Besides that, he would never mention my name.
How do you think a fight between you and Belal plays out? How does it look?
I think it looks like how Vicente looked against him the first time they fought when he KO'd him. You know, he put him out cold. He's not going to take me down. He's not going to be able to put a wrestling game plan on me. His striking sucks. I mean, look, he couldn't even finish Gilbert Burns when Gilbert was on one arm and Gilbert was on a short camp because he just fought 3 weeks before that. He had to do 2 weight cuts, 2 quick turnarounds because his sleazeball manager, Ali, talked him into and convinced him into, oh, this is a title eliminator, when it was never a title eliminator. I was obviously already fighting for the title and guaranteed the next title shot. So that fight never made sense. I feel bad for Gilbert that his, you know, shitty ass manager, you know, double dipped on him and Bill. You know, he took paychecks from both of them, you know, and he screwed him. He put his, you know, he put him in a tough situation, you know, where you're turning on a short turnaround and you got to cut weight twice. So, you know, he couldn't finish that guy on one arm on a short turnaround. What's he going to do to me? Honestly, he's got nothing for me. It'd be an easy fight, and, you know, he's going to look to duck and pick and choose all the easiest fights he can. But guess what? He's not a star. He has no pull in the company, so he's going to do what he's told like a good little boy. Yeah, I think it's a one and done type thing. You know, he's obviously on the right steroids right now. He's doing the right cycles. So, you know, he had a one night, you know, lightning in a bottle type performance, and, you know, he's the supposed paper champ right now, but no one cares. You know, he doesn't draw flies to shit, so it's not like he's going to make any money with that belt. He's going to do as he's told, and yeah, I think he will be one and done. I think I'll be fighting shit rat before the end of next year. You know, I'll get back in there, and whoever the biggest and best business that I can do for the UFC and for the fans. You know, I fight for the fans. I don't need a belt to know I'm the best in the world and to know I'm going to put on exciting shows for the fans. This sport's about pleasing the fans, and that's what I love to do best. So, you know, I'm going to get on the phone with the UFC, see what I need to do to get back to that title, and I will be champion. The people know it. I know it deep down inside. This is my destiny.
Do you think there's a potential we see you and Dustin potentially settle this feud at welterweight sometime in the future, or do you believe that that's a fight that will probably never materialize?
I think it's a fight that never materializes because deep down inside, he knows I'm his daddy. He knows that I've exposed all his shitty tactics and just the piece of shit person that he is. So of course I would love that fight. It's the biggest and best fight that we can do in this division. I mean, it's the biggest fight that he can get. You know, there's no other fights for him at lightweight. You know, he's cutting all these chromosomes. He's cutting so much weight to get to 155. He should come fight in a real man's weight class. Why is he fighting a little kid's weight class? So, you know, he's all talk. He said in the past that, oh, when I see Colby, it's on site. When it's on site. So the fans now know that he's full of shit. He doesn't talk the talk and walk the walk. He just talks the talk. So, you know, I would love that fight. I know that does amazing business for the company of the UFC, and you know, it's going to sell a lot of tickets, and it's got real heat behind it. We're not going to be shaking hands afterwards like some of these guys that just script all their shit, and you know, it's just all fake recorded stuff. This is a real beef. This is, you know, a decade plus, you know, at an old gym training together and having real heat against each other, you know. So, you know, I would love to get my hands on Dustin, but we know he's all talk. He doesn't walk the walk, so I don't know. I would love for that fight. You know, I'll fight anybody. Everybody knows I don't turn down fights. I'll accept the biggest and best fights and the toughest fights, and that's what I want, but Dustin's not the same. So he's a coward little bitch from Louisiana. That's why we call him Louisiana Swamp Trash. When we were first training together, like, you know, he was using me every day just for wrestling. He never wanted to do anything else but just wrestle with me. So, you know, I was giving him knowledge, you know, giving him information, obviously toying with him like a little kid, like he's an amateur, and just playing with him. And eventually his ego got to him. You know, he started winning some fights in the UFC, and I was still, you know, coming up, and, you know, I hadn't had the name that he had yet. So he just, you know, his ego got to him, and he just started treating people like shit. And I wasn't going to stand for it because I know I'm a better fighter than him. So I wasn't going to let him walk all over me and just treat me like shit. So as soon as I started rising up, you know, the ranks, and, you know, I became, you know, the top draw in the company, that's when he, you know, got jealous and envious. And he just started bad-mouthing me. Oh, I don't like the way Colby does business. Oh, he's a fucking piece of shit person. Oh, he says some mean words. We're going to get locked in a cage in our underwear in front of the whole world, and we're going to try and kill each other. But he can't say mean words. Telling the old gym owner, kick Colby out. He's a meanie head. He said mean words. Kick him out. So that's when the beef, you know, started. And it sucks because I did a lot for the kid, man. I helped him out with the negotiations. You know, I was always like giving him valuable information and knowledge that, you know, I was receiving on contractual ends. So, you know, I just felt like snake bitten, just like, you know, I was betrayed. And it sucks because, you know, I did a lot for the guy, and for him to turn on me like that was really just, it was depressing almost. So, you know, that's why I wanted to fight the guy so bad, just because he's just caused me a lot of pain and a lot of just suffering that I didn't have to go through. So, you know, that's when it started. I crossed paths with him about 3 months ago at New NYY Steakhouse, Coconut Creek Casino, you know, which is in the same gym, the same city that he trains at, the gym. And he came by the steakhouse, and I looked at him eye to eye. I was like, "What's up, bitch? It's on site. Say something, do something." And he just walked out of the restaurant because he knows you can talk big to the media. You can talk big in front of a camera, but when you're in front of someone's face and you feel their energy and you know what they're capable of, that's when it's a different story. Now you can't run your mouth. Now you can't do anything. If he wanted to do something, he could have done something. I stood up, I looked him right in the eyes, and he walked right out of the restaurant like a good little bitch.